भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमः ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन् इति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य भो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा।
Hare Krishna. So very fortunate to have this conversation Prabhuji. So Prabhuji is from ISC College and he Bangalore, ISC Bangalore. So he was doing his MTech. And that time he came to he was used to come to Pune and then ISC there were a group of devotees. So he was always attracted to Krishna's photo, as President told me in one meeting. And when it's to come to Shadipuram, Bangalore, our old Jagannath temple, from there, and he became very serious in Krishna consciousness. And then he was contemplating and he chose to follow the path of dedicating his life for Vishnu Prabhupada and teaching Srimad Bhagavatam. And when he joined Chopati, their group of commissioners was sent to Vada. And initially their service was making mud blocks. Like in Vrindavan, they're making mud blocks, doing all construction work over there. And then God constructed him to start a later college, teaching all courses, Srimad Bhagavatam, Charitamrita, and then slowly started there. And 2015, his Grace Radhesham Prabhu studied for 2 years, where Prabhuji was conducting the whole Bhakti-Yoga course and Bhakti course there. And then Prabhuji came to teach us in Pune also, and used to very much relish his class then. And whatever Subodhini you see, whether Gita Subodhini, Bhagavatam Subodhini, everyone whom you are, they say, our life became so easy learning scriptures. So Prabhuji's revolution, and so many Subodhinis keep coming, Chaitanya Leela there. So, and Prabhuji got a degree of PhD from Chin, from Gauranga Darshan from.
I never had a PhD. It's wrong information.
And Prabhuji had been so much, and so staff of the children is very, very amazing. There's many children like, as a many series of books Prabhuji in the background, the research children. Yes, we're very fortunate to hear from about the topic, the glory of Srimad Bhagavatam, and more of study how to study Srimad Bhagavatam. Yeah, so let's welcome to the understanding of the Krishna. Hare
Hare Krishna. I welcome all the wonderful young devotees from Bangalore to Govardhanika village. As the year 2025 is ending very soon, it's a good time to reflect on our learnings in this year and also take some wonderful resolutions to make the next year more spiritually enlivening. And if our reflections and resolutions, if our reflections about the past and resolutions for the future, if they're all based on Srimad Bhagavatam, that's a wonderful way of living life. If you see, the Shastras, the scriptures are filled with a lot of do's and don'ts, vidhis and nishedhas. Vidhi means that which is supposed to be done, what we are supposed to do. Nishedha means what we are supposed to avoid, right? Prescriptions and prohibitions, do's and don'ts, things that we need to adopt and things that we need to avoid, right? So this is the subject matter of many scriptures. But the essence of all do's and don'ts, the essence of all prescriptions and prohibitions is स्मर्तव्यः सततं विष्णोर्विस्मर्तव्यो न जातुचित् सर्वे विधिनिषेधास्य एतयोरेव किङ्करः स्मर्तव्यः सततं विष्णोर् always remember Lord Vishnu. Vismartavyo na jatuchit, never forget him. Sarve vidhinishedhasyur etayoreva kinkaraha. So these two statements, always remember the Lord, never forget the Lord. These two statements are the essence of all vidhis and nishedhas, all do's and don'ts in all the scriptures. All do's and don'ts are ultimately meant to bring us to this level of Krishna Smaranam, constantly remembering Krishna. आम्नायाभ्यसनान्यरण्यरुदितं वेदव्रतान्यद्वहम् वेदश्चेदफलानि पूर्तविधयः सर्वं हुतं भस्मनि तीर्थानामवगाहनानि च गजास्थानं विना यत्पद द्वन्द्वाम्भोरुह संस्मृतिं विजयते देवः स नारायण आम्नाया अभ्यसनानि अरण्यरुदितम् Amnaya means different scriptures. Abhyasanani means to study. I was asked to speak on studying scriptures also in this session. So, but all our study of scriptures, Amnaya Abhyasanani will become Aranya Ruditam. Aranya means forest. Rudita means to cry. When you get lost in a forest without a phone, without Google Maps, uh, or with phone but without charging, then what will you do? Rodana. You will only cry, right? Aranya Rodana. So man who is lost in wilderness of a forest will only cry because some python may come and swallow him, some tiger may come and attack him, or he may be starving without food. So getting lost in a forest will only make All these rituals are like pouring oblations into ashes. You take 10 kilos of pure ghee and put it in ash, and you call, I'm doing sacrifice. Will you say that? So, without remembering Krishna, following various rituals is like pouring ghee into ashes. मेदश्चेदफलानि पूर्तविधयः सर्वं हुतं भस्मनि तीर्थानामवगाहनानि च गजास्थानं विनायकपद. Tirtha means holy places. You may visit so many holy places, go for yatras, pilgrimage sites, Vrindavan, Mayapur, Tirupati, Srirangam, Pandaripur. You may go to different holy places, but if you don't remember Krishna, if you are not Krishna conscious in those yatras, then it's like elephant bath, Gajasnanam. An elephant may enter a water reservoir, take bath, clean its body, come out, throw dirt, like that. In short, the essence of this beautiful shloka is remember Krishna. Whatever you do, you may do rituals, you may take up vows, you may study scriptures, you may go to pilgrimage places. All these activities should bring you to the stage of remembering Krishna, be Krishna conscious. तीर्थानि च गजास्नानं विना यत्पद द्वन्द्वाम्भोरुह संस्मृतिं विजयते देवः स नारायण. If you don't remember the two divine lotus feet of Narayana, whatever you do is just waste of time. Of course, definitely not waste. Once you go to a holy place or read some scriptures, even without remembering Krishna, that will definitely spiritually benefit you. But ultimately, we need to aim for remembering Krishna, be Krishna conscious. Scriptures may be studied in a scholarly way also, right? You may study scriptures from a historical perspective, linguistic perspective, grammatical perspective, scholarly perspective, analytical perspective. But if you miss the devotional perspectives, if you don't identify how these scriptures are enhancing your Krishna consciousness, then it's waste. So, the essence of spiritual path is to remember Krishna, is to depend on Krishna, is to serve Krishna. So, coming to Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam is the most essential devotional literature that can uplift our consciousness, that can purify our consciousness. Right in the beginning of Bhagavatam, we see this sweet shloka. निगमकल्पतरोर्गलितं फलं शुकमुखादमृतद्रव संयुतं पिबत भागवतं रसमालयं मुहुरहो रसिका भुवि भावुकाः. निगमकल्पतरोर्गलितं phalam. Nigama means all the scriptures are like compared to a tree, desire fulfilling tree. Nigama kalpataror. All the scriptures are like a desire fulfilling divine kalparuksha tree. Galitam phalam. Srimad Bhagavatam is the ripened fruit of the desire tree of all Vedic scriptures. Sukamukhadamritadrava samyutam. And when the Srimad Bhagavatam sound vibration emanated from the mouth, from the lips of Sukadeva Goswami, that already ripened fruit has become much tastier. Its relish increased, its taste increased because of the bite of Sukadeva Goswami. When a fruit is bitten by the beak of a parrot, its flavor increases. Similarly, the sweet pastimes of Srimad Bhagavatam have appeared much sweeter when Sukadeva Goswami narrated. When Sukadeva Goswami spoke that Bhagavatam. Amritadrava Samyutam, they became nectarian liquid. Fruit became juice. The first line it is phalam. In the second line it became dravam. Right? Fruit became fruit juice, which is easier to consume. You take apple and then cut it and bite it, or take apple juice directly. Sukadeva Goswami took a ripe apple and made it into juice. And what are you supposed to do? Pibata bhagavatam rasamalayam. Pibata, drink it. Don't bite, don't chew, just drink it. It's pre-digested material. Very simplified content. Pibata bhagavatam rasamalayam. Rasamalayam. Bhagavatam is an abode of all rasas. Muhuraho rasika bhuvi bhavuka rasika. You must be an expert relisher of rasa. And you should repeatedly read Srimad Bhagavatam. Then you'll become a relisher. After becoming a relisher, then you start relishing. So one reading of Bhagavatam is not sufficient. 10 readings is also not sufficient. 100 readings is also not sufficient. We should read Bhagavatam life after life. Ready? You must say, Prabhu, we didn't even read once, don't scare us. Where is scaring us at the end of 2025? We are giving a target for 2026. How many of you began study of Bhagavatam? Oh, quite a few. How many of you completed your first canto study? 1, 2, 3. Oh, maybe 10, 15 of you. Amazing, Prabhu. Wonderful youth training you are doing. Amazing. How many of you read 6 cantos? And okay, 6, 7 of you. Almost 10 of you. 6 cantos. How many of you read 12 cantos of Bhagavatam? Oh. My humble obeisances to all of you. Amazing. Whenever I see devotees studying Bhagavatam, that fills my heart with so much pleasure. But we should not stop at studying Bhagavatam. We should also apply the teachings of Bhagavatam in our lives. Application is more important than memorization. You may study, you may become familiar with the contents of Bhagavatam. You may write them in exams, you may get some degrees like Bhakti, Vaibhav. And sometimes certification ceremonies are done in public also. And that's good, amazing, but how much have we internalized it? How much have we realized it? How much have we applied it? How much are we putting those teachings of Bhagavatam in practice? Of course, 1 lifetime or 10 lifetimes is not sufficient to completely apply all the teachings of Bhagavatam, but at my stage of spiritual realization, at my stage of spiritual advancement, am I making a humble attempt to put at least some of those teachings relevant, immediately relevant teachings in practice or not? We need to do some reflection. At the end of 2025, you can reflect on your study of Bhagavatam and your application of Bhagavatam. So and so situation came. I studied in Bhagavatam that Ambrish Maharaj was very tolerant. When Durvasa was trying to kill him by creating a fiery demon. But I was not tolerant when I did not get gulab jamun in that feast. There were 10 items in the feast. I got 9 items. I didn't get the 10th item gulab jamun. I was furious with that gulab jamun distributor because without any discrimination, he's giving two each people, each person. Should give only 1. I didn't get even 1. So we may study about tolerance of Ambrish Maharaj, forgiveness of Suniti Mata, or the other way around. We may not be able to forgive devotees sometimes or many times, even if they cause little inconvenience to us. What's the extent of inconvenience caused by Durvasa Muni to Ambrish Maharaj? So the real test for your understanding of Srimad Bhagavatam is how much are we developing Vaishnava qualities? Not that how many shlokas we know, how melodiously can we sing shlokas. That's not the test for your understanding of Bhagavatam. That's good, fine. How much is my lust decreasing? How much is my anger decreasing? How much am I developing that service attitude, genuine service attitude? How much am I respecting other Vaishnavas? Am I naturally inclined to insult other Vaishnavas or respect other Vaishnavas? Okay, even if I circumstantially become angry, do I become repentant? Do I try to rectify that behavior or justify that behavior? Parikshit Maharaj became circumstantially angry. With whom? Shamika Rishi. You read first hand, right? Shamika Rishi. He kept a dead snake around him. We understand even great souls make some mistakes circumstantially. That's not his regular habit to take dead snakes around and start distributing dead snakes and all the snakes. That's the first time he ever insulted a Brahmana, and that's the last time also. But still, circumstantially, by some transcendental arrangement, he has committed a mistake. After doing that offense, what was the consciousness of Parikshit Maharaj? He came back home, he came back to his palace, and he sincerely repented for his mistake. He was thinking, what nonsense did I do? I'm a king. I'm supposed to be upholding virtues, values, principles, morals, ethics. I'm supposed to be respecting Brahmanas. And as this Brahmana is sincerely doing his meditation, I asked him water. It's my mistake. And when he did not give it to me, I insulted him by keeping a dead snake. I must be punished for it. So he was not only expecting a punishment for his mistake, he was desiring a punishment. He desired, let me be punished for the nonsensical, offensive act I have done, so that I will not repeat the same mistake. By reading Bhagavatam, are we cultivating the consciousness of expecting and desiring a punishment for the mistakes we have done, or we want to avoid punishments? Give me forgiveness, don't give me punishment. That is Indra mode. Indra also did a mistake in Bhagavatam only. He created a devastating rainfall in Vrindavan, isn't it? And Krishna lifted Govardhan mountain and saved the Vrajavasis. For 1 week he held it on his little finger. Then Indra realized mistake. He took 1 week to realize a mistake. And he came to say sorry to Krishna. Internally he was thinking, uh, Krishna only saved the Vrajavasis from my rainfall, but he did not punish me yet. Next step is he will punish me. He was very hesitant to even go in front of Krishna. And when he went in front of Krishna, he was offering so many prayers, very philosophical and little complicated prayers he was offering, with an expectation to be relieved from any punishment. He was thinking, how Krishna will punish me definitely. He may call Yamaraj and punish me. So let Krishna forgive me. He should not punish me. See the consciousness of Parikshit Maharaj in comparison to Indra. Parikshit Maharaj is saying, let me be punished for the mistake. And when the punishment came in the form of a curse, he accepted it. I will die in 7 days, no problem. But Indra was not willing to accept punishment. Krishna should only forgive, not punish. That was his consciousness. He will follow Indra or Parikshit. Indra is also a great devotee, no doubt. But in that context, Indra is acting in this way. When we are studying Srimad Bhagavatam, we should develop this Parikshit Maharaj's consciousness. Yes, mistakes all of us will do. We become angry, we become frustrated. If you don't do any mistake, that's great. If you do a mistake, next step is repent for it, regret, apologize, say sorry, genuinely, not as a formality, and rectify the mistake. Don't justify the mistake. And take shelter of Krishna. So, by studying Bhagavatam, we need to develop this consciousness and try to apply the teachings of Bhagavatam in our day-to-day lives. Not just theoretically understanding developing knowledge, giving lectures. All this is good, wonderful, but some attempt to apply is also there, must be there. And when we approach Srimad Bhagavatam in that consciousness, then Bhagavatam will reveal its inner meanings to us. How to understand Bhagavatam? By approaching Bhagavatam in the mood of a beggar, not a scholar. We are supposed to approach Bhagavatam begging for some service attitude, begging for some Vaishnava virtues like gratitude, compassion, satisfaction, tolerance, respect, humility. We should approach Bhagavatam not as scholars or logicians or philosophers. Yes, you may be well equipped with logic and philosophy, that's amazing, but that's a byproduct. What's the main product? We should develop sincere devotion to Krishna and Vaishnava qualities, Vaishnava character. That's the ultimate result of sincerely studying Srimad Bhagavatam. As far as systems are concerned, yes, you follow all the systems, taking notes. We have so many tips. I was asked to give all those tips, but somehow I'm in a different mood now. Yes, you can take notes. You can allocate time to study. You can study early in the morning if possible. You can uh, you can keep a proper pace of study daily, whatever 10 pages or 20 pages or one hour, whatever it is, discipline. You must be following, right? That chart, daily this much of studying. They follow sadhana chart. They do that. Uh, you are already having a good discipline and the systems are in place already. Just follow that. But I wish to comment on the mood in doing that. Mechanically doing things will not work. You may put tick mark in your that sadhana A4 sheet. Tick mark, pass, talk to. But how much it has gone inside, that also matters. The ticks are important, no doubt. Discipline is good, but the discipline should culminate in devotion. Otherwise, the discipline will increase our pride. We will be very proud that I'm very disciplined. I'm very systematic. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu says, too much of jnana and too much of vairagya will make us hard-hearted. If that jnana and vairagya are not balanced with bhakti, if jnana and vairagya are not subordinates to bhakti, if jnana and vairagya overpower bhakti, then we'll become hard-hearted. So, Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojitaha Janayatyasu Vairagyam Jnanam Chayata Haitukam. When you perform Vasudeva Bhakti, jnana and vairagya, detachment and knowledge will automatically come. But if we pursue only knowledge and detachment associated with the discipline, and if we ignore devotion, then where will we go? So Bhagavatam is supposed to inspire devotion in us, and as an accompanying friends or servants of devotion, there is jnana, there is vairagya and other things. Srimad Bhagavatam Pramanapalam Yadvaishnavana Priyam Srimad Bhagavatam Puranamamalam Yadvaishnavana Priyam Yasmin Paramahംస్యమేకమబలం జ్ఞానం పరం గీయతే తత్ర జ్ఞానవిరాగ భక్తి సహితం నైష్కర్మ్యమావిష్కృతం తచ్శృణ్వన్ సుపఠన్ విచారణపరో భక్త్యా విముచ్యే నరః. We discussed a shloka from the first canto Bhagavatam. Now this is a shloka from the last canto Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam also begins with the glories of Bhagavatam and ends with the glories of Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam Purana Mamalam. Srimad Bhagavatam is Amala Purana, spotless Purana. The materially motivated practice of Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha is rejected right in the beginning of Bhagavatam. People adopt so much of practices, ritualistic practices, dharma, to get artha, money. And they use artha, money, for kama, sense gratification. When they're frustrated in their kama, in their attempts to enjoy in this material world, they desire liberation. They think of moksha. Yes, I'm frustrated here. Let me be liberated. Let me leave everything. This is called Kaitava Dharma, materially motivated practice of Dharma. Such practice is rejected right in the beginning of Bhagavatam. Therefore, it is Amala Puran. Srimad Bhagavatam Puran Amalam Yad Vaishnavanam Priyam. Very dear to all the Vaishnavas. If you're a Vaishnava, Bhagavatam must be your favorite book. Yad Vaishnavanam Priyam. Yasmin Paramahamsyamekam Avalam. And Bhagavatam is understood by people who are pure-hearted and non-envious. To the degree you are non-envious, to that degree you will understand Bhagavatam. Nirmatsaranam satam vedyam. By reading Bhagavatam, is my envy going away or increasing? Oh, this devotee is doing better service than me. I am unable to do. Or more than doing service, this devotee is getting more recognition than me. I am not getting. This devotee is becoming more famous. I am not becoming. This devotee is singing well. This devotee is managing well. This devotee is in a good position. Position means like some designation or whatever status. I don't have it. I don't have it. That's if that is what is going on in our mind, we have a long way to go. Understand Bhagavatam. Non-envy. To the degree we are not envious, to that degree we will understand the scripture. Bhagavatam is not an ordinary book which you can understand with your intelligence or your research capabilities. Bhagavatam is not different from Krishna. And you don't understand Bhagavatam by research. We understand Bhagavatam by revelation. Krishna has to reveal himself. Krishna, in the form of book Bhagavatam, will reveal himself to someone who approaches Bhagavatam with sincerity. Yasmin paramahamsyamekamalam gnanam param giyate. Param gnanam. Ordinary mundane knowledge is not there in this book. Supremely divine transcendental knowledge is presented in this book. Gnanam param giyate. Tatra gnana viraga bhakti sahitam naishkarmyam avishkritam. This Bhagavatam presents bhakti accompanied by gnana, knowledge, and viraga, detachment, and naishkarmya, non-reactionary work. Perform your work without any material reaction. That is called naishkarmya. Tatra gnana viraga bhakti sahitam naishkarmyam avishkritam. Tat Shrinvan, hear Bhagavatam. Supathan, study Bhagavatam. Vicharana paro, contemplate on Bhagavatam. Don't just hear, read also. Supathan, don't just study. Vicharana, contemplate, introspect deeply on the messages of Bhagavatam, on the content of Bhagavatam. When you just hear, you are understanding Bhagavatam through the realizations of great souls. That's amazing. But when you study, you are putting your own effort also to understand, along with the understanding acquired from many other devotees. So Sravanam and Patanam, we can combine. That's Srinvan Supatan. But by hearing or studying, if you don't do it in a deeper manner, then our knowledge will remain theoretical. We'll only accumulate some information. But for all this information to become transformation, you need some processing, you need some contemplation. That is vicharana. You try to connect that lessons of Bhagavatam with your day-to-day life. Reflect on it. Read between lines, in line with parampara. Reading between lines is not speculation. Here, vicharana is not speculation. Vicharana is contemplation. Don't equate contemplation and speculation. That's the first speculation. Is contemplate. Vicharana paro. Bhaktya vimuchya naraha. And that vicharana should be also guided by devotion. Devotional contemplation, not mental speculation. And then we'll internalize the messages of Bhagavatam. As far as process of study is concerned, yes, you can have a regular habit of taking notes, studying on a regular basis, keeping some weekly quota, monthly quota, if not daily quota. Uh, and ask questions, ask relevant questions. When you meet some experienced, well wishing devotees, you can ask some questions. Please ask. That way we learn. Mm. But apart from these study methods, we need to approach Bhagavatam with the right mood. How did Parikshit Maharaj hear Bhagavatam from Sukadeva Goswami? His heart is filled with respect for Sukadeva Goswami. How did the sages of Naimisharanya hear Bhagavatam from Sutta Goswami? With respect, with love, with affection. When you have affection for the teacher of Bhagavatam or the speaker of Bhagavatam, you will assimilate the teachings better. When you have affection for the book you are reading, you will assimilate the teachings better. तन्नो भवान् वै भगवत्प्रधानौ महत्तमैकान्तपरायणस्य हरेरुदारं चरितं विशुद्धं शुश्रूषतां नो वितनोतु विद्वन् तन्नो भवान् वै भगवत्प्रधानौ. Oh Lord, my dear teacher Sukata Goswami, you are Bhagavat Pradhana. The qualification of a speaker of Srimad Bhagavatam is he is Bhagavat Pradhana. Means he keeps Bhagavan as the prime objective of his life. Mahattamaikantam Parayanasya Harerudaram Charitam Vishuddham. What's the subject matter of Bhagavatam? Subject matter of Bhagavatam is nothing but the most magnanimous pastimes of Lord Hari. Harer Udaram Charitam Vishuddham. They're pure. Susrushatamno vitanotu vidvan. What is the quality of hearer of Bhagavatam? Susrushatamno, great eagerness to hear. The qualification of a hearer is eagerness. The qualification of a speaker is devotion, attachment to Krishna. And the qualification of the subject matter is magnanimous pastimes of the Lord. When a hearer and a speaker discuss this subject matter, oh, that discussion, that conversation is eternally relevant. Therefore, we are discussing their conversation even now, even after 5,000 years. And even after 5,000 yugas also, this will be relevant. That's the power of Srimad Bhagavatam. That's why Sanatana Goswami says, Madeka bandho mat sangin Madguru Manmahadhana Mannistaraka Madbhagya Madanandana Mostute. Madeka Bandho, Bhagavatam is my only companion. Mat Sangin, Madeka Bandho is Bhagavatam is my only relative. Mat Sangin, Bhagavatam is my only companion. Mat Guru, Bhagavatam is my only teacher. Man Mahadhana, Bhagavatam is my greatest treasure. Man Nistaraka, Bhagavatam is my only deliverer. Mad Bhagya, Bhagavatam is my only fortune. Madanandana Mostute, Bhagavatam is the only source of my joy. Sanatana Goswami says this. So, we need to understand the efforts of our beloved founder Acharya, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. While so many other Acharyas have prioritized Bhagavatam, we also have our recent founder Acharya, Srila Prabhupada. He had spent sleepless nights writing Srimad Bhagavatam, even on the deathbed, even in his final moments. There's a dictaphone and he's dictating. Bhaktivedanta purports, 10th canto, 13th chapter, last uh, chapter that Prabhupada has translated. So Prabhupada has prioritized, although there is a lot of expansion going on, so many centers are opening across the globe and Prabhupada is traveling so much, but he always prioritized translating Srimad Bhagavatam. When he had spent sleepless nights writing Srimad Bhagavatam, at least during the daytime we should read Bhagavatam. Right? He prioritized because this is the base. This is the foundation of the movement. Without sound vibration, how can we uh, function in our services? So Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. How many of you feel that your Bhagavatam, your overall bhakti is not very steady? Jai Ho. My humble obeisances to those who did not lift their hands. And my humble obeisances to those who lifted their hands also. All of you. So, if you think your bhakti is not very steady, and if you are desiring to make your bhakti more steady, hear Bhagavatam. Nashtaprayeshu bhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavatyuttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. Nishtha means that steadiness, being fixed up. When our performance of bhakti is unsteady, it is called anishtita bhakti. That unsteady practice of bhakti, anishtita bhakti, for it to become nishtita bhakti, steady practice, fixed practice, Nityam Bhagavata Seva is important. Right? Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya will lead to Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. If you want nishtha in your bhakti, if you want steadiness in your bhakti, if you want to be fixed up in your bhakti, regularly hear Srimad Bhagavatam. Not once in a while, regularly. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. I'm not speaking anything esoteric, anything hi-fi. Simple things. How many of you heard this shloka? Nashta Prayesha Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. How many of you meditated on the meaning of it in this way? Only one. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya will lead to Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Sometimes devotees come and say, oh, I don't feel very inspired in my bhakti. Sometimes I don't feel like chanting. I'm not very enthusiastic in my services. I can't get up in the morning. Even if my health is good, I'm unable to get up. Or I don't feel like coming to temple or associating with devotees. Why all this is happening? You're not reading Bhagavatam. If you read Bhagavatam, you'll be enthusiastic. Simple. You want your bhakti to be naishtiki, bhaktir bhavati naishtiki, Nityam Bhagavata Seva is the only key. Some anarthas are tormenting us, right? Anyone here? Some lust, some envy, some pride, some greed. I'm asking some personal questions. These are general questions. Allow Krishna to enter your hearts through the door of your ears, through sound vibration, in the form of sound vibration. Bhagavatam sound vibration is not different from Krishna himself. So whenever you are opening your ears and allowing Bhagavatam sound vibration to enter your ears, Krishna is entering those ears. And through this door of the ear, he enters the home of our heart and sits there. And what does he do? धुनोतिशबलं कृष्णः सलिलस्य यथा शरत् उपविष्टः कर्णरन्ध्रेण. When Bhagavatam enters into the ear holes, Swanam Bhavasaroruham, Krishna personally enters and he sits in the lotuses of the emotions of his devotees. Your emotions, or the heart, which is a seat of emotions, is compared to a lotus, and Krishna sits there. Swanam Bhavasaroruham, Dhunoti Shamalam Krishna, all the mala, All the contamination in the heart is completely destroyed by Krishna only. Don't think that you can destroy your contamination, you can overcome your anarthas. Let Bhagavatam do that job. How can I engage Krishna in destroying in cleaning the contamination in my heart? It's okay, you can engage him. You can allow Krishna to do the cleaning job. You do the room cleaning, let him do the heart cleaning. Right? Don't feel embarrassed in it. Because you don't have the ability to clean your heart only. Without bhakti, without hearing Bhagavatam, without taking shelter of Krishna, where is the possibility of cleaning your heart? The only cleaning process is hearing Krishna Katha, Krishna Nam. Only Krishna can clean the heart, either in the form of holy name or in the form of Bhagavatam sound vibration. Allow that to enter. This is the door. Keep the door open. Not for many other sound vibrations to enter. What will happen? Yannav vrajantya kavido rachananuvada sambhanti yenya vishaya kukathamati ghanihi. When we hear materialistic subject matters, kukatha, that is called bad topics. Mati ghani, mind gets corrupted. If you allow materialistic sounds to enter these ear holes, and those materialistic topics will corrupt your mind, corrupt your heart. Kukatha mati ghani. यास्तु श्रुता हत भगैर्भिरात्तसार तांस्तां क्षिपन्त्य शरणेषु तमस्सु हन्ता. I don't want to scare you, but that will eventually lead to hellish existence. But when we allow the sound vibration of Srimad Bhagavatam to enter our ear holes, Krishna will enter through that ear holes and he will sit there and he will do all the necessary cleaning. Okay, let this contamination of lust, envy, pride, greed going away. That's the process, recommended process. So we need some sincerity and consistency in our study, in our hearing, and eventually that should lead to deeper devotion that will give higher realizations. We'll become more detached from materialistic pleasures. We'll become more attached to Krishna Bhakti, to Krishna's devotees, to Krishna Nam. All this will happen with the blessings of Srimad Bhagavatam. Thank you. Guruthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Any questions or comments? Questions, comments, objections, reflections? We can unmute them, bro. I don't know who to give priority. I see 5-6 hands here.
Thank you very much for the class. So, when speaking about the application of Srimad Bhagavatam, you were saying how Parikshit Maharaj repented and how ignorant consciousness was while offering prayers that he was wanting to get rid of the punishment that was awaiting. But many times in my life, the situation happens like what happens every time they win in case. Both are not ready to accept their mistakes. So what do we do in that case?
You are talking about two people or only yourself? If you are comparing yourself with Devayani, there must be Sarmishta somewhere. But if you are Sarmishta, your friend must be Devayani.
At least I feel.
You feel about yourself or others also?
I feel like in the situation like this,
Sometimes the other person is Devayani, sometimes the other person is honest, and the other one is played
Yeah. Then you bring Shukracharya there. Yayati will come. Anyways, Devayani and Sharmishta example is a very graphic example. They both are egoistic. Two friends who, with great friendship, they entered this water to take a bath. By the time they came out of the lake, they became lifelong enemies. One ego clash. That's the power of false ego. Ahankar. What is ego? The word ego, definition, a sense of identity. That's ego. Many of your students, some of you may be working professionals, some brahmacharis, some cameramen, not some, many, many cameramen. So all of you have some designations, positions in this world, in this society, right? That is ego, right? Many times we associate the word ego with the pride, with the arrogance that we develop because of the designation. Ego is a sense of identity. And when you uh, take pride in that identity, false pride in that identity, when you become puffed up, when you become arrogant, that's like egoistic tendency, right? But all of us need a sense of identity. So when you over-identify yourself with your current designation or position or occupation and become proud of it or become envious seeing others who are better than you, that is called false ego or unhealthy ego. Healthy ego is all of us should have a sense of identity, otherwise we'll be in identity crisis, right? So in the case of Devayani and Sharmishta, what happened is Devayani identified herself with her position as a Brahmani, Stri. Sharmishta identified herself as a Kshatriya lady. When by mistake Sharmishta took the clothes of Devayani, by mistake, in haste, Devayani said, "We are Brahmanas. We are better than you. How dare you touch my clothes?" By mistake. But still, she could not forgive. And she did not stop the dispute with the clothes only. She said, "We are coming from a superior Brahmana community, and your father, a Kshatriya, daily comes and falls at the feet of my father, a Brahmana. And whatever prosperity you have, whatever success you have in your life, is only because of the blessings of my father, Shukracharya." Now, she did not keep the dispute between her and her friend only. She brought her father also there. She brought her community, caste, what is it, Varna also there. And Sharmishta is no less. You are saying that our prosperity is because of your father's blessings. You are surviving because of my father's charity. My father Kshatriya is the king Vrishaparva. Daily he gives donation to your father. If my father doesn't give charity to your father, he cannot have food. He cannot have his clothes also. This is our bhiksha. That is her ego. Ego is the problem. Basically, your question is how to overcome false ego. Embrace true ego. Instead of identifying ourselves as a Brahmana or a Kshatriya, or a Brahmacharya or Grahastha, or Bengaluru Vasi, or Mumbai Vasi, or Hyderabadi Vasi, or whatever, identify yourselves as servants of Krishna. This is what Mahaprabhu taught us. Naham vipro na cha narapatirnapi vaishyo na shudro. Naham varni na cha grahapatirno vanastho yatirva. किंतु प्रोद्यन निखिल परमानंद पूर्णामृताब्धेर गोपी भक्तुपत कमलयोर दास दासानुदास. Mahaprabhu says, "I am not a Brahmana, I am not a Kshatriya, I am not a Vaishya, I am not a Shudra. I am not a Brahmachari, I am not a Grahastha, I am not a Vanaprastha, I am not a Sannyasi. Then who are you? I am the servant of the servant of the servant of the servant of the master of the gopis of Vrindavan." That's our identity. All clashes happen. Devayani Sharmishta type of clashes happen because of false ego, because of falsely identifying ourselves with a temporary designation and becoming proud and puffed up and arrogant about it. That's the reason. So let's identify ourselves as servants, not with our positions or designations. Then naturally ego clashes will be less. Okay, now you may act like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and others are still acting like Devayani or Sharmishta. What will you do? If that is your next question, follow-up question, the answer is simple. We should stick to our Vaishnava culture. Others may or may not respond according to Vaishnava culture, which is not in our hands. But we should stick to our Vaishnava culture. But at the same time, we should not allow ourselves to get exploited by others. You may be humble, simple, polite. Others are trying to exploit you, trouble you, bother you, seeing your gentle behavior, mild behavior. Then you do the needful to protect yourself without hating the other person. Don't hate, but it's your responsibility to protect yourself from being negatively affected by them. That's important. But stick to your Vaishnava culture. Protect yourself while upholding Vaishnava culture. Don't allow yourself to get bothered by others, troubled by others' ego, while not being egoistic yourself. Hare Krishna. Any other question?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you so much for Nectarian Katha. Definitely they have entered our Kandarandren and it will purify our heart. Prabhuji, I have a question regarding reading Srimad Bhagavatam effectively. You talked about reading, contemplating and doing vichar. So from childhood, we have been taught that in our material education, that going between the lines, coming out as scholarly, doing analysis, breaking, all this has been taught to us as instruments of intellect. So we show our and understand things using these. Now when it's the same person now when he starts reading Bhagavatam, they inadvertently start using the same instruments in understanding Bhagavatam as well. So my question is, at what point in time do I understand that I'm going too much into the details and I'm missing the point? And my second part, sorry, I'm missing two questions. My second point is the examples that are given. For example, Parikshit Maharaj, sages of Naimisharanya. Somehow these feel, on a lighter note, these feel irrelevant for a reader like me because these are already very elevated. And those are being compared to me who am a Nityabadha. How do I reconcile all of this together and then become a better reader of or lover of Bhagavatam?
Both are good questions. As far as the first question is concerned, we may have a habit of studying books analytically using our intellect. We may approach scriptures also in the same way, Bhagavatam also in the same way, which is not wrong to begin with. Definitely, we should use our intelligence to understand, and that's the right use of buddhi. सा बुद्धिर्विमलेन्दु शंख धवला या माधव ध्यायिनी सा जिह्वामृत वर्षिणी प्रतिपदम या स्तौति नारायणम सा बुद्धिर्विमलेन्दु शंख धवला. That buddhi which is meditating on Madhava, ya Madhava Dhyayini. It's reading between lines, meditating on Bhagavatam. That buddhi which is meditating on Lord Madhava is the best buddhi, spotless buddhi. So engage your buddhi, engage your man, engage everything that you have, your intelligence, your senses, your body, your mind, your words, everything in Krishna's service, in the service of Bhagavatam. That's great. But your genuine question is, what is the limit, or how should I understand that I'm approaching Bhagavatam intellectually or devotionally? Now, the answer to this question is that when service is given to us, are we willing to accept it without any reservations? Of course, when you have some genuine reasons, you may not be able to do. Your health is not good or whatever, that's a different thing. But when you have the ability and bandwidth to do, are we obediently, humbly accepting that opportunity for seva, or are we rejecting? It's below my dignity to perform this seva. Me, jhadu, pocha. Ah. Uh, once, earlier we used to have a small school here where children were allocated Narsimharti every day. They would come for Mangalarti. Every day Narsimharti they sing. Monday kids are not there. One of our brahmacharis was approached. Will you sing Narsimharti? He said, मैं बच्चा हूँ क्या? I will lead Mangalarti, not this Narsimharti. Somehow he felt like that. No service is below our dignity to perform. I think. So all our Bhagavatam study should convert into service attitude. Then only we will understand things. I am not saying this. Bhagavatam only says this. Go to the third canto of Bhagavatam. What did Vidura say in front of Maitreya? Maitreya, when he explained to him this Ishvara Tattva and Jiva Tattva, and Vidura said, yeah, I understood this. Wonderful, amazing. But I cannot realize this. Why? I have not served. Durapahyalpa tapasa seva vaikunthavartmasu yatropagiyate nityam deva devo janardana. Alpa tapasa. There is a long discussion, but in short, he says, Seva Vaikunthavartmasu. I will convert this theoretical knowledge into practical realization only when I render service to pure-hearted devotees like you. Service converts our knowledge into realization. Intellectually, you may acquire so much of knowledge. You may use your intelligence, buddhi, to acquire jnana. Buddhi will lead to jnana. So if you use your buddhi to acquire jnana from your study of Bhagavatam, that's good, amazing. But for the jnana to become vijnana, for the knowledge to become realization, for you to assimilate that knowledge, absorb that knowledge, internalize that knowledge, you need to render service. That's the way. First, you should be inclined to render seva according to the need of the hour. Then you will not remain on an intellectual plane. You will come to the realization plane. Does it make sense? Does it connect with your question? Your second question. Or is it second question?
Examples given of the sages of Naimisharanya.
Correct. There are big examples of Parikshit Maharaj, Ambrish Maharaj. Although he was, Durvasmuni is attacking him with a fiery demon, trying to kill him. Just for drinking one drop of Charanamrita. Ambrish Maharaj was tolerant. And next 1 year he fasted. So you remember that episode? Durvasmuni tried to kill Ambrish Maharaj. Ambrish Maharaj did not move a single inch from where he was standing. Then Sudarshan Chakra came and burned that fiery demon to nothing and started chasing Durvasmuni. And Durvasmuni was doing Brahmana Brahman. He went to Vishnu Loka. Before that, he went to Brahma Loka and Shiva Loka. And after 1 year, long story, after 1 year, he came back and fell at the feet of Ambrish Maharaj. And Ambrish Maharaj felt very awkward. I got such a great Brahmana, a sannyasi. He is falling at my feet. He felt very awkward and said, Oh, Sudarshan Chakra, if at all I have some pious credits or spiritual credits, please take all those credits in exchange for the life of this Brahmana, save him. He is trying to save the life of a Brahmana who tried to kill him earlier. He was willing to offer all the pious credits he had to save the life of this Brahmana. To that degree, he was demonstrating this principle of forgiveness. And this 1 full year where Durvasmuni was doing Brahmanda Brahman, Ambrish Maharaj did not take even 1 drop of Charanamrita. He was feeling 1 year. He was feeling that Durvasmuni came to take meal in my home. I could not feed him. I only offended him by drinking Charanamrita, by giving priority to my, Ekadashi Vrata, current time and all. So out of his sentiment, out of his sensitivity, that he could not feed his guest, 1 year he fasted. So now when we hear such big, big examples of forgiveness and Vaishnava character, we feel that I'm so fallen, I'm so lowly. How can I exhibit such a great quality of forgiveness or tolerance or compassion or humility, etc., etc.? Answer is, we need to take our baby steps. Yes, Tranadapi Sunichena. Every day we are reciting this. Tranadapi Sunichena, Tarorapi Sahishnuna, Amanina, Manatena, Kirtaniya Sadahari. Tranadapi Sunichena, being humbler than a blade of grass. And Prabhupada says, not being humbler than a blade of grass, be humbler than a straw on the street. Oh my God, at least grass is green. Grass is living. Even if you stamp on a grass, again it will stand up, it will grow. But straw on the street, no possibility of growth, no life, no color, not green. Prabhupada says, be humbler than the straw on the street. Yes, it's difficult. We can't acquire the quality overnight, but take our baby steps. We need to take our baby steps. We may not be able to tolerate when somebody creates a fiery demon to destroy us, but at least when somebody behaves like Shadmishta, we can tolerate. So first, try to exhibit tolerance or humility or respect in your day-to-day dealings with your friends. Eventually, you will come to that stage of tolerance or humility. First, when you don't, I give that example, right? When you don't when you don't get gulab jamun in your feast, tolerate the urge to scold someone. You told you're in book distribution marathon, December, you're on the streets holding, 10 big books in your hand and begging people, please take, which is one book, one book. And you told Prabhu, I think there are a lot of people here. I think there is a scope for distributing some books here. Can you make my plate, lunch, prasadam plate? I'll come 1 hour later. You told your friend, and you're distributing books nicely. After 1 hour, you went back to the temple. No prasadam plate is made. He forgot or he got busy. At that time, you feel like, what kind of person is this? You may feel like shouting at them, screaming at them, yelling at them, staring at them, or even beating them, whatever it is. But at least do not do that. At that time, try to tolerate to some degree. We'll exhibit tolerance or humility or respect in such small incidents in our lives. Then eventually we'll be able to exhibit these qualities to a higher degree. Let's begin somewhere. That's what we say, right? I can't chant 16 rounds when people say, oh, no problem, you can chant 1 round, 2 rounds. And after a few years, 4 rounds. Hey, I mean, four rounds only. Make it 8 rounds. When will come to 16 rounds? When we take initiation, we intensify our follow more. When somebody comes to you for the first time, we say 1 round sufficient, 1 mantra sufficient, whatever. But eventually, you want them to come to higher standard, right? 16 from 1 mantra to 1 round to 4 rounds to 16 rounds. It's some journey. Similarly, as far as developing Vaishnava qualities, it's a journey. It takes some time. Take your baby steps. I'm also work in progress. Any other question? One last question. Yes. Ask.
Krishna Guruji, thank you for the wonderful class. Guruji, you mentioned that there is a long way for them who are very much envious to understand the actual content of Bhagavad. So, how to make it a shorter way?
Give up envy right now. The longer you take to give up your envy, the longer you will take to understand Bhagavatam. The faster you give up your envy, the faster you will understand Bhagavatam. Even Bhagavad Gita also. Why did Krishna speak Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna? Idam tu te guhyatamam pravakshyami anasuya ve. Asuya. Asuya is envy. And there was Saram with you. Matsara is envy. You should give up that envy. Not easy. But there's a different uh, way of approaching it. Simple. Why do you become envious of someone? He has something which you don't have, or he is something which you are not. It basically means that you are valuing what he has or what he is. Right? You are valuing what he has or what he is. For example, he has iPhone and you have my phone. You're envious. But you are valuing that he's using something better than mine, or uh, he is the head of the department and you are a member of the department. You're envy. Basically, you are valuing that head position, right? So instead of envying them for having something more than you, appreciate them. When you're appreciating someone, Krishna will give the same blessing to you also. Basically, your envy is an indirect appreciation only, isn't it? When you're envying someone, you're indirectly appreciating that person. So instead of indirectly appreciating, avidhipurvakam, directly appreciate. Vidhipurvakam, vidhivat. All the gopis of Vrindavan wanted to serve Krishna like Yashodamata is doing. They were very appreciative of her position and her good fortune. And what did Krishna do? Krishna allowed all these gopis also to serve him like Yashodamata in the Brahma Vimohana Leela. So when you appreciate another devotee for his or her good fortune, Krishna will bestow a similar good fortune upon us also. But when we envy them, we may lose what we have also. Right? First thing is we lose our peace. Out of envy, we may harm others. But before we harm others, we have already harmed ourselves by hosting that demon of envy in our hearts, by allowing the witch of envy to stay within our minds. We should pray to Krishna. Krishna, let me get rid of this envy. Okay. Thank you very much for your kind attention. And once again, I welcome all of you to Govardhaniko village. Stay here, enjoy the ambience, spiritual ambience of Vrindavan forest. Take darshan of Shri Shri Radha, Vrindavan Bihari, and Radha Madan Mohan and Giriraj. And please bless me. Happy New Year. Happy Krishna conscious Year. Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Blessings. Dr. Maharaj, question becomes